Hey everyone, and welcome to Chef AJ Live. I'm your host, Chef AJ, and this is where I introduce you to amazing people like you who are doing great things in the world that I think you should know about. We have one of my favorite plant-based chefs on today. Her name is Bernick. She is from Well Elephant, and she is backed by popular demand, and she is going to be making New York style vegan Reuben sandwiches with coleslaw. Two ways. I love me a good Reuben. I cannot wait to see these recipes. Please welcome back to the show, Lauren, the guest with the best hair of any of the 1,000 guests I've had.
Oh my God, that is quite the introduction. And I hope my hair doesn't fall out because that will make me.
I mean, I'm sure you've heard this. You kind of, I mean, you don't look like her, but the hair reminds me of, Carrie Bradshaw in Sex and the City.
I have heard that. Yeah, I know. And I think I told you, like, I lost so much hair during the pandemic, I guess, because of, like everybody else, the stress. But luckily, I still had a bunch. So that was good. Whew. Your hair looks really cute.
Well, thanks. I just love, but your hair's naturally curly. I bet. Is it very difficult to style, or is it just you wake up looking like that?
It's super easy to style. When I was younger, everybody had the Farrah Fawcett hairdo, and my hair was like the bane of my existence. I hated it because, I would try to like iron it. We didn't have like chi irons back then. I would just try to do everything I could to be able to like flip my hair. And of course I couldn't. And then by the end of the day, it was like, shh, and just looked terrible. So at least now I've given into it, and it's easier and it's easy to style. And I just get some hair gel in it, get my diffuser. It's easy.
I think it looks great. And always, I love your backsplash. Did you choose that?
Yes, we built our house like 3 years ago. So my husband and I chose everything. So yeah. How do you like your new house?
Well, I'm in a rental, and I like it very much. I mean, I do love it, but I don't know what it is about backsplashes. They just are my favorite thing in houses these days.
It was something we couldn't agree on, and I almost ended up with a backsplash that neither of us really loved because it was like a compromise. But luckily, then we saw this one and we both loved it. So then we knew it was the one.
And it's interesting; it goes all the way up.
Yeah, it goes all the way up to the ceiling. Well, my cabinets go up pretty high.
Yeah.
We actually put the cabinets just like a little smidge, maybe 18 inches higher than I think normal, which I don't know why. They seem like it's so low. When you're picking everything out, it's so, you don't know how it's going to look. And you're just like, I hope this all goes. But it goes. It all went. It all did good.
It looks great. So, I always remember Reuben sandwiches. There was a vegetarian restaurant called Follow Your Heart, and they had the best Reubens in the whole world.
Yeah. Back in the day, I loved a Reuben too. Like the thought of it now, it makes me want to throw up, like eating all that. And, they never just put a little meat. It was like this much meat on it at the deli. But I did love it back in the day, and I still love a good sandwich. And I feel like I made this more complicated than it needed to be, but I wanted to make it two ways because I wanted to make it so you could actually eat it, because I feel like you can never eat anything I make. And then... And then I wanted to make it like a little more low fat and also on Ezekiel bread, because somebody might not want to take the time to make potato bagels. So I made it two ways. I made it a little complicated, but you ready for me to get started with it?
Yeah, I do. But before, I don't want to miss this question. Do you ever make knishes or have any suggestions for vegan knishes?
I have never made knishes. I don't know. I got to get on that. I got to figure that out. That dough is probably complicated, huh? Have you ever made those?
I haven't, but I bet you they exist. There's got to be somebody out there that maybe like a Nava Atlas or a Zell Allen, people that do, Jewish cooking for the holidays. I bet you have a recipe.
Yeah. And I bet it would be, if they are those people, I don't know those people you mentioned. Do they do oil free?
Sometimes they do. So I would look at vegparadise.com, Zell Allen's website, because she does a lot of Jewish cooking.
Ooh,
I'll check. When you get started, I'll look and see if I can find
a knish recipe. And then we could always like figure it out. If it has oil in it, maybe we can figure that part out. Okay, well, all right, let's get started then. So we're going to make it 2 ways. The first way I'm going to make it is Chef AJ style. I'm going to kind of do both at once, and then we'll assemble them at the end. But the first, we're going to make the same marinade pretty much for either one. For Chef AJ's, we're going to use coconut aminos instead of Bragg liquid amino because Bragg's has soy in it. And you're allergic to soy, right? Is that
Absolutely.
correct, Chef AJ? Okay. So first we're going to do the marinade. So it's 3 tablespoons of, we're going to do the coconut aminos for the mushrooms. The mushrooms in Chef AJ's are going to be the base. Okay, so let's see. We need 3 tablespoons of coconut aminos. 1, I should have measured it ahead of time. 2.
Have you ever had the Unreal Deli?
I have. That is so good. And you know, it doesn't have anything really funky in it, at least not the corned beef one. There's one, I think the turkey one has oil, but I had the corned beef one, and I was pretty surprised that the ingredients were pretty clean. I mean, for something like
I
that.
had it on the show. It did sound pretty darn clean.
Yeah, it's kind of amazing. Okay, so 3 tablespoons of the coconut aminos, 1 tablespoon, I said, of coconut nectar. If you don't have coconut nectar, you can do maple syrup, or I know you don't eat maple syrup, do you?
I'm just a buzzkill. Just assume I eat
No.
nothing. Just
Okay.
kidding. I would probably
That's
use
usually
dates.
my
I usually use date syrup when I need a liquid sweetener.
Okay, so you could use date syrup then if you don't have coconut nectar, and then a tablespoon of smoked paprika. And then we're going to do just a teaspoon of ground fennel seed. I normally don't measure, but I'm trying to be good. Okay, fennel seed, and then you just whisk that up. I kind of use just like a little shallow pan. The fennel seed kind of gives it the corned beefy taste. It smells good. And I just wiped off my mushrooms. I get them pre-sliced because I'm pretty lazy. Oh, I did not do a good job of figuring this out. Okay, this is terrible. Fail. I need a bigger bowl. Hang on.
I like big bowls, and I cannot lie.
Why did I think that was going to hold all of that? That's ridiculous. Failure in judgment. But that's one of the things, you know, whenever you're cooking, you can always rally and fix it up. So that's, you know, don't be afraid to cook. Don't be afraid to make mistakes in the kitchen. They always can be like, you can always remedy it. Okay, so now I'm going to put these in the bowl. I just used an 8-ounce thing of mushrooms.
Hey, just so you know, I Googled vegan knishes and tons of stuff came up, but most of them had oil. But I found one on Forks Over Knives that's oil free. So I'm going to post it in the chat right now. Yep.
Forks Over Knives.
Yep. I put it in the chat.
Over Knives. That's awesome. Okay, so now I'm just going to whip up the mushrooms and their little marinade. Ooh, it smells good already. And then we'll make the marinade for the next one, for the tempeh. Let me get a bigger bowl this time before I even start. Okay. So for the tempeh one, we're going to do 3 tablespoons of the Bragg liquid aminos. 1, 2, 3, and a tablespoon of the coconut nectar, or the date syrup, or the maple syrup, and a tablespoon of smoked paprika, and a teaspoon.
Paprika or paprika?
Am I saying it wrong?
No, I'm just kidding. You know, tomato. I was just teasing you.
You know, I have trauma from being on your show from like the mushroom gills and the, what else? The broccoli. I remember one time I threw away the broccoli stem. That was a big problem. So now I'm scared. I don't know how to pronounce things. I'm
No, I'm
traumatized.
just teasing you. Paprika.
What do you
or
say?
Paprika?
You
Smoked
say paprika?
I say paprika,
Yeah.
but I could be wrong, you know?
No, I don't think there's a right or wrong. Yeah, I guess I say paprika. Paprika.
Well, paprikash, yeah. It's the emphasis on the wrong, the emphasis on the wrong syllable.
The emphasis. Okay, and then I'm just going to cut up the tempeh. I use this brand, Light Life, just original. The other one has too much fat in it, so just, I think it's flax or whatever, but I kind of like a 1/4 inch thick. When you're buying tempeh, always turn it over and look at the back so you can see the color of it. A lot of times it's like black. It has black, I don't know, it looks like mold. I'm sure it's not mold. Maybe it is, I don't know. But anyway, turn it over and give it a little glance and make sure it doesn't have nasty black things on it. Okay, then I'm gonna marinate this in a bowl. That's the appropriate size. Now, the best thing to do would be let it sit for like 30 minutes and marinate, but we don't have 30 minutes to do that. So preheat your oven to 375, cover your baking pan either in the Silpat or in the parchment paper, and then we're just gonna bake them up. And if you don't have 30 minutes, it's fine. I've totally done this before, where you just chunk it in the oven. It is better if you can let it marinate, but if not, don't worry. Now, you can also do your mushrooms if you're just doing mushrooms in a pan, like in a non-stick pan. But since I'm going to put the tempeh in the oven, I'm just going to stick the mushrooms in the oven too. Who's going to help me eat all this?
Hey, Lauren, you sent me the recipes in a bit.ly. Can that just be posted?
Is it not, you can't just do the link and then
Yeah,
click?
but the thing is when I try to put it in the show notes, it's over 5,000 characters and it doesn't fit. So I have to cut something. It's like 7,000. So would other people be able to click on the bit.ly?
I hope so.
Okay, I'll give it a try.
Maybe somebody, yeah, give it a try, and then maybe somebody could see if they can click on it. And
yeah,
if
that's
not,
what I'll do. That's a great suggestion.
Then let us know. The reason I sent it like that was because it was over 5,000 characters, and I knew you said not to. Like I said, I think I overcomplicated this by making it 2 different ways. I just like to give people choices.
That's nice.
It is. But yeah, I might have made it silly and not, now we can't use it. Okay, so I'm just throwing it all on the thing, kind of spread it out so everybody gets a little nice temperature. And just throw it in the oven. Okay, let me set my timer so I don't forget about it. I'm going to check it in 15 minutes. Okay, so that's going. Now we're going to start on so here's where you have, let's see, we have some choices. We're going to make both. So we're going to make a Russian dressing. So the difference between Russian dressing and Thousand Island, and you could do a Thousand Island if you want, but Russian dressing has like a little kick to it. So it has like a little garlic and a little horseradish in it. And Thousand Island, if you were eating, you know, the standard American diet, it would generally have like egg in it and relish. They both have ketchup and relish. So I haven't been able to find like a relish that I can use. So I just chop up pickles, and I use like a little mini food processor, a mini chopper. And you can use whatever you want. Okay, so we're going to do it 2 ways. The first way is we're going to do I'm going to do the tofu one first. So this one is if you want a little bit lower in fat, because the other choice is a sesame seed Russian dressing base. So if you're like me and you're worried about heart disease or you're worried about your weight and you're not allergic to soy like Chef AJ, then you can use the tofu. It's a silken tofu base. I just used half a package of the 16 ounce. So I already got that going. Let me move you over here.
Diana says she follows you on Instagram for great tips on eating out.
Oh, yeah. Thank you, Diana. If it's the Diana I'm thinking of, I know exactly who she is. She's very lovely. Well, thanks, Diana, and thanks for watching. I try to give a lot of tips for going out to eat, and I try to make them short. I do that on my Instagram and my YouTube. And okay, let's see. All right, so now we're gonna I'm using Bubby's pickles because we're making a deli sandwich. I start with like 2. You could use 2 to 3, it just depends on the size. All right, let's start with 2 and see how that goes. I'll give them a little rough chop before I throw them in my little mini food processor. Yeah, this is just instead of buying relish, I feel like it all has corn syrup in it. So I do that. That looks good. We can always throw in more later. This is just maybe, like I said, a half a package. I think it's 16 ounces of full package. So maybe this is 8 ounces of silken tofu. Try and leave the liquidy part in there. And then a 1/3 cup of ketchup. And I use unsweetened ketchup. I know there's Well Your World too, but this you could buy at any grocery store. And it's unsweetened. Doesn't have too many horrible things in it. It's just like tomatoes and balsamic and regular vinegar. So gonna give that a little whirl.
Yep. Diana says you know her. She's Diana Bananas.
Diana Bananas. I can maybe use one more pickle. I'm a fan of the pickle. Looks like Russian dressing. All right.
What's the difference between Russian dressing and Thousand Island dressing? They're both kind of orange.
The Russian dressing has garlic and horseradish, and the Thousand Island has just like maybe it would have had some hard-boiled eggs back in the animal eating days. Or you could just do it without the garlic and without the horseradish, and it would be more like just Thousand Island. But I like a little kick, so we're going to put some horseradish and some garlic in this, but I don't put it in the chopper. I add it in after, so it has that little, you really get the flavor. Okay, now that's okay, so let me put in the garlic. And where's my horseradish? Okay, you're gonna laugh at the horseradish. Okay, any Jew is gonna recognize the tempeh or whatever. You probably have this in your refrigerator from like 2 Passovers ago. I had to actually throw mine away when I was looking because I was like, oh, this is very, very expired, because I don't use a ton of it. But I'm just gonna do like a teaspoon of, wait, what did I say in my recipe? Maybe I'm putting too much. And yeah, you don't want to put too much. I think I'm going to just start with a half a teaspoon. You can always add more, but you can't take it out. Okay, so I'm gonna stir that up. Ooh, it smells good. Okay, so that's our Russian dressing made with tofu. Now the other one, I'm gonna just go ahead and make it now, is made with sesame seeds for the base. So, okay, we're also gonna make coleslaw. And when I did the recipe, so has anybody tried to click on the recipe, Chef AJ?
Yes, Deborah said that it works, the bit.ly.
It works,
so
okay, perfect.
In the show notes, which people can see if they go to YouTube.
Okay, again, I apologize. I feel it's like a really convoluted thing because you could do this, you could do that. But I was trying to, like I said, give you choices. But it's really just pick what you want. Pick the bread you want, pick the the Russian dressing you want, pick the filling, whether you want mushrooms or tempeh, and that's really it. Okay, so this is what I was telling you about the recipe. So coleslaw also has a half a cup of, we're gonna do it with the sesame seeds. You could also do it with the tofu, but the coleslaw dressing is gonna have a half a cup of sesame seeds, and the Russian dressing with the sesame seeds has a half a cup. So I just am doing a full cup of sesame seeds at one time, because if I washed out my Vitamix and then got back and said, now do another half a cup, I'd be irritated. So I lightly toasted a cup of sesame seeds. I mean, I barely had them on the stove for like, a few seconds. Let's see. So I'm going to let me wash out my little mini chopper. Okay, so I got that. I'm going to start with about a cup of water in here. We'll see how it goes from here. With my sesame seeds, I might need a little more. We'll just get the base going for this. This is the base for the Russian and for the coleslaw. Okay. So now we're going to do the Russian dressing. So I'm going to use about a half a cup of this mixture. And then leave the rest for coleslaw. We got that. Got our pickles. Oh, let me give them a rough chop. I probably should have put those in first. Just go ahead and use 3 pickles. Another 1/3 cup of ketchup. This is good. Oof. It's really good with the sesame seeds.
Why don't you write a Jewish cookbook?
Oh my gosh. I don't know that I have enough recipes for that.
But you made brisket before.
I know. I was just thinking that. I was like, wow, I'm so Jewy when I come on this show. I made a brisket the last time. And
well, maybe make corned beef and cabbage next time.
Oh my gosh. God, I used to love corned beef. Oh, doesn't that make you want to throw up?
But you can do a vegan corned beef and cabbage.
Well, I mean, this sort of is vegan corned beef.
In a way.
But not like a big giant one. What would you make it out of? Like a guess a seitan or a
Oh, no, but
cauliflower.
I know, I'm sure it exists. I was trying to get somebody to do it for St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah.
Let me look, because I actually saw one. Yeah, hold on. I'll tell
You
you.
know, Shane and Simple is good of making like meat thingies. Maybe he has one. Okay. Now I'm going to add in the garlic.
Let's see what they make it with.
Do my garlic and my horseradish. Okay, so now we got the sesame seed one. Okay, now we're going to go back. My kitchen is always such a mess when I'm finished here. My kitchen's really just such a mess pretty much anytime I cook. I love it. Did you find one?
Yeah, one was made with tofu. I'm just going to look for a few and tell you what people
tofu.
are doing with them. It's what the first one I found was made with tofu. And the second one with vital wheat gluten.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Vital wheat gluten. I feel like you would have to make it when you try to make like some kind of roast thing. It just generally ends up being like a vital wheat gluten kind of thing.
Yeah,
I just generally don't.
The third one was with seitan. So yeah, there's a couple of different variations I found.
Let me check these. That's going along. Okay, so now we got that. Now we're going to do the coleslaw. Okay, so I just bought like a little bag of the coleslaw mix. You can grate your own if you like. And then I added radish to it because I love radish. And if I would have had more time, I would have probably put some more red cabbage in that and taken out. I just like a variety. And okay, so now the coleslaw, we're going to do a half a cup of the sesame seeds, 3/4 to a quarter cup of water, which we are not going to redo that. That was already that was what I did to mix this. So don't add another. If you made your full cup of sesame seeds ahead of time to use half for the Russian dressing and half for this, don't add more water. You already added it. 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar. The juice of a lemon. It's my lemon squeezer. Love my lemon squeezer. I always get in my eye. Try not to get in your eyeballs. I like mine kind of tangy. So if you don't like it tangy, you could cut back a little on the lemon and the apple cider vinegar, but I like it like that. Okay.
You teach in any classes these days, either in person or virtually?
Yeah, I do have a class. I have a class and a cookbook. Well, my cookbook I made for your Ultimate Weight Loss Bundle, and I'm selling that on my website. And then I also have a class. It's called ACE Plant-Based Eating. And it's, A stands for amend the recipe. So make anything oil-free that you like and vegan. We learn how to do that. C is cook without oil, and E is eat on the go, what Diana was talking about before, because I know a lot of people don't eat out when they eat like this, but I love to go out to eat just for the social, aspect of it, but I also don't want to be sitting there drooling over what everybody eats. So I have like my methodology of like between calling the restaurant and seeing what I could get and then sneaking in things that make it better. If I just have to get steamed vegetables and I'm at a Chinese restaurant, I have a Chinese sauce in my purse and some tofu and I throw it on there where nobody's looking. So, I just teach people how to go out to eat where they can still enjoy themselves. But yeah, ACE plant-based cooking, amend the recipe, cook without oil and eat on the go. I feel like If you know how to do those things, then that's really all you need to know to be able to stick to this way of eating. Okay, so I got that in there. And then if you don't have this, it's no big deal, but it's called Green Goddess seasoning from Trader Joe. And I like the flavor. I just give a little bit of that. What else? Tablespoon of coconut nectar or whatever kind of sweetener you want to use just to balance out the tanginess that we put in. I think that's it. Okay, let me give this a little whirl here. You don't really have to give that too much. You're just gonna, smells good, looks good. Throw it over the coleslaw. I may not put all of it in case I don't need it all. Again, this would be better if you didn't eat it right away, if you let it sit in the refrigerator for like an hour. And you can also, I don't do this because it's really very salty, but you can also salt this and then, squish it down with a plate, and then like a lot of water will come out, and then you can rinse it. It just makes it a different consistency, but I don't like to use that much salt, and I don't think it's necessary, but some people do make their coleslaw that way. But I like it just like this. Yummy, delicious. It has sesame seeds, which generally I don't eat a lot of, but this is going to be such a tiny amount that I would put on a sandwich or put on the side. And really, I think that's it. I think we have all our components now. Let me move some of this out of the way. My timer went off. Let me check I think it can use another minute. I'm going to set my timer again so I don't forget. Just do like 5 minutes. Okay. So yeah, that's really it. Oh, and then we have some sauerkraut that we're going to put on. You can use any brand you want. I use this brand. I get it at Whole Foods. It's really good. But the thing about when you do your sauerkraut, you want to squeeze the water out. And I just wash my hands and I literally just get the sauerkraut in my hand and I put it over the sink and just squeeze so the water comes out. Because if you don't get the liquid out of the sauerkraut, when you make your sandwich, it's going to be so soggy. It'll be just disgusting. Your sandwich won't stick together. And then I just wanted to show you this other thing. I use this garlic that I used in the Russian dressing. It's just peeled garlic. And I use so many cloves of garlic. I probably go through one of these like every couple of weeks. It never goes bad. I rarely have to throw it away. And somebody was just telling me you can freeze garlic. So that's another thing, like a little time saver. I know they have the big giant peeled and minced garlic things like at Costco or whatever, but those are giants and I don't ever quite get through those. So for me, that's like a good little compromise on that. All right, let me wipe down. Okay, does anybody have any questions about that? Anything I've done so far?
I mean, look, if there's questions, and guys, it helps when you put those question marks before, and at least after, because then I can see them differentiating from the chat. Well, Karen says she has blanched the slaw mixture and then put in an ice bath. It makes it softer texture without using salt.
Well, that's a great tip. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Amy says, do it. A Jew book cookbook. A Jew book.
A Jew book. A Jew book. I love it. I know. It's so funny. I was really thinking that. I was like, what is it? Like last time I made brisket and this time that, but you know what? They're good. I think you had asked me like, could I make a nutritional or a queso without nutritional yeast? Didn't you ask me that? I played around with it, but it was not, I didn't come up with anything like that. I was like, oh, this is fabulous. I was working it out with hemp seeds, but I still need to work on that. I'll try to keep working on that for you. Okay. I would probably cook this a little bit longer. Well, okay, I will cook it a little bit longer. I'm going to turn it up to 400 and just cook it. Let's see. I'll just give it another couple minutes. And then we're just going to assemble it. So I have a choice for the bread. I have Chef AJ's fabulous. These are the best. Oh my gosh, your potato bagels. I made them ahead of time because you have to chill them in the refrigerator. So let me just give you a little primer on this. So you steam the potatoes. I don't have an Instant Pot. I don't know why. I just don't have one. But I just boiled them really. And because I got big round, you want to get big round Yukon Golds potatoes. Try and get them as round as you can so it looks like a bagel. Of course, you can kind of shave it and, play with it to make it a little rounder. So you steam it or boil it. When they're soft, but not falling apart soft, you take them out, and then I let them sit at room temperature for a few minutes. So I'm not sticking something that's really hot into the refrigerator, but you have to chill them either for a few hours or overnight. So that's why you have to make these in advance. And then you get them out the next day or a few hours later. And and you cut them in half, and then you dredge them in like an everything but the bagel seasoning, which I did. But for this purpose, I also added caraway seeds, and a lot of caraway seeds, because I want to mimic like a rye bread. So I put everything but the bagel, and I'm trying to find my apple core, but I don't know where it is. Oh, here it is. I just bought this especially so I can make these. It's an apple core. You definitely don't need it. So you slice the bagels in half, and then you just stick this through so you can make a little hole. But you don't need this because I've made it plenty of times with just a knife, cutting a little hole in the middle. But I wanted to be fancy for Chef AJ. So I did that and dredged them. And then you bake them in the oven at 400 for like 20, 30 minutes, and you take them out. And then you have like a little bagel, and it's so delicious. So I did that. That's all ready. We're going to assemble everything now. Get my okay. Trying to decide how I want to do this.
It's all in the construction.
My gosh. Mess. Okay. Yes, all in the construction. Okay. So first we're going to do Chef AJ style. I'm going to get my bagel. Put my mushrooms on it. I'm just using my hands. They were clean. Can't vouch for them now. Okay. Got my mushrooms on there. Ooh, they're nice and yummy and hot. I'm going to put a little bit of coleslaw on here. I'm also going to put some on the side. Let me get a little cup. Put some coleslaw in the cup, like you get it a little deli. Then I'm going to put my sauerkraut that I wrung out. And then the top of the bagel. Get a toothpick. And then I got a little jelly basket because I want to be cute. Look how cute. Got a little deli basket. Putting a toothpick through there. So it does.
That looks so realistic.
Look at it. Order up. Oh my gosh, wait. Can you see? I did the pickle on the side. I even threw
Where
in
did
one
you
of the
get the
little
paper? That's fabulous.
Isn't that so cute? I just ordered everything from the evil corporation that is Amazon. So, where do you get anything? Isn't that terrible? But anyway, so it's so cute. If you have people over and you want to make like a little cookout, and then you have your coleslaw and your little bagel.
You are so creative.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. And now we're going to assemble the other one. So if you don't feel like making potato bagels, you can just get your Ezekiel bread. I just toasted mine. Toasted Ezekiel bread. Oh, I forgot to put the Russian dressing on.
Uh-oh.
Why didn't anybody tell me?
I don't know, but you could always put some on the side too. They could dip.
Okay. Well, we're going to do it. All right. So let's see. This is the one Chef AJ style. Oh my God, it's like the most important thing. I always forget something. Whenever somebody comes to my house for dinner, they leave with a container of something that I forgot to put out. It's just, I'm notorious for that. Okay, now it has Russian dressing. I remembered it because it's so, now we're gonna do, it's like something I just slather on the bread. This is the tofu one. Has less fat. And I like to put a lot. I put it on both sides. I would have put it on both sides of that bagel if I would have remembered. Then I got my tempeh I'm putting on. I like to put a good amount of the tempeh on. When you're getting a deli sandwich, they're going to pile it high. I'll put a little coleslaw on there.
Just don't lose your tempeh.
Don't lose your tempeh.
Uh-huh.
That reminds me of you were so good on Rip Esselstyn's podcast. Look how big fat that is. It's a little easier to work with the bread than the bagel, but the bagel is way, way better for you, I'm sure. Yeah, you were so good. I loved your rap. That's what reminded me. Don't lose your tempeh. I loved your rap you did on. I love Rip. He's a very good interviewer. I think he asks like good follow-up questions, and I like that. But he can be a little tiny bit dry. Just that's his personality, and I just love it. I think it really suits him. But you're so energetic and hilarious, and it was like a nice compliment to that. So I thought you were a great guest on his show.
It was a wonderful experience.
That was good. Then I got my coleslaw, my pickle in my basket. And then I'm going to just put my sandwich in there. Let me see if I can make this look pretty. See the inside?
Yeah. Is that what you're going to have for dinner?
Apparently. Let me see. I guess I have to have my kids over too. They came over when I was testing the recipe, so they actually already have had their fill of this, but yeah. There you go.
It looks so realistic.
It's so realistic. It is. It's absolutely real. So that's it.
Man, why, somebody should open, maybe there is one like in New York and I'm just not aware of it. Somebody should open a vegan deli.
There's a vegan place in Austin called Rebel Cheese, and it's not a deli, but they have deli sandwiches, and it's a vegan cheese shop. It's unbelievable. I go on my birthday and I get, because I don't eat a ton of nuts, but I get a vegan cheese plate on my birthday. I've never had any of their sandwiches because, I'm sure they're just chock full of oil, but my friends have, like, we'll go together. It's unbelievable. Google Rebel Cheese. It's so unbelievable. And if anybody lives in Austin or comes to Austin, go to Rebel Cheese.
That's amazing. Weren't you going to hook me up with the chef or the owner of Casa de Luz?
I did. I gave. I don't think he's going to come on your show. He's just like this very kind of guy who would live in a commune, like he's just, I don't know. But I did talk to him.
Yeah, Eduardo. I think I know what happened.
Eduardo, he goes by Yo. And I don't know. I just don't see him doing any kind of, I don't know what he does, but he is like easy, calm, even keeled. I don't think he would go out of his way to come on a show and promote anything he has, or just, I don't know, but try again, because he's so interesting. And Casa de Luz is like the coolest place. People, bottom line, people need to come to Austin and visit. Don't stay here, because a lot of you are doing that. It's getting very crowded, driving up our home prices. But well, you can if you want. We'll love you. But yeah, Austin is a great place to be a vegan. I don't know if any place is great to be a vegan where you don't eat oil, but I do okay. I have a lot of places pretty worn down at this point.
Kelly says there's a vegan butcher in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Kelly, is that a restaurant or is that a person? That sounds fascinating.
That would be.
Wow.
You know what?
Nancy says there's a vegan deli in Las Vegas.
Is it at the Wynn? They have vegan everything at the Wynn.
And there's a vegan deli in Portland called Ben and Esther's, says Lynn. And Ben and Esther is a couple that have been on the show.
Really?
They're real people in Sacramento. Yeah, she lost a lot of weight doing the McDougal program. That's funny.
Wow. I just read that Central Market. Wait, you don't have Central Market. That's an offshoot of HEB. So HEB is a Texas grocery store. So anybody who's in Texas, I just read that Central Market is opening up a vegan butcher shop in Central Market. So that's amazing. Just the fact that they're doing that. But I guess that's only helpful if you're in Texas. But there was what is the thing? I ordered like a vegan turkey, like for Thanksgiving, a vegan butcher thing. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I don't know. That's just so cool. I've just been vegan so long. I just missed the boat on all these delicious things, you know?
The bone?
The boat. I missed the boat.
Oh, I was like, you missed the bone?
No, I missed the bone. No, I missed the boat on trying all these things like Impossible Burger, because now I'm just not drawn to it anymore. But boy, when I was a junk food vegan, I would have loved all of that stuff.
I know. I'm the same way. I wish I would have been a junk food vegan first, so I could have gotten in on all that. But yeah, I missed the bone on that too.
You're funny.
Well, yeah. I thought you were saying like you missed the bone, because I just think of my mom. My mom is like, she makes like a chicken graveyard. Like, you know, people that just like suck every last thing off the bone. I mean, she makes like, it really looks like a chicken graveyard when she's finished. She eats every morsel off every bone and says it's the best part. All the most disgusting parts, you know, that's her favorite part.
You haven't been able to get your parents to go vegan?
Oh, dear God. I think I told you last time, my mom told me I had a baked potato today, but don't worry, I didn't have the potato. I just had the butter, the sour cream, the bacon, and the chives. I was like, why do you think that's okay, Mom? That's not okay.
That is so.
She's not getting on this bone at all.
People are so stubborn. I don't get it. Don't they?
She did it like, she had a heart attack, of course, and was scared. And I went to her house. I made like 4 million things. I took the Prevent and Reverse Heart Disease cookbook with me. And I was like, pick anything you want out of here. I'll make you anything you want. And she picks cupcakes. So I made cupcakes, but I made her like a million things. I stocked her freezer, and she did it for like a couple of weeks. She's like, nah, I don't want to do this. I was like, okay. She loves her Atkins lifestyle, which is like keto now, you know, the precursor to the horrible keto. But this is also why she's had like 2 heart attacks and she's on oxygen in a walker. I'm sorry if you're watching, Mom. I love you. Love you.
That's so funny. Well, do you think she's watching?
No, because I'll have to call her and tell her I'm going to send the link, and then explain how to do the link, and then, you know, get somebody to help her do the link, and then she can watch. She'll watch it eventually, probably when I go to her house and show her how to do it, but she's not real up on technology. But
would she listen to me if I tell her to go vegan?
I don't think so. I don't think she's going to listen to anybody.
Wow.
I don't know. I wish.
Yeah.
I
It's sad
wish.
when our loved ones, have health that's not stellar and they aren't interested.
It hurts, because you're like, I know what I could do to help you. I have the answers here. Um, yeah,
What do you think the resistance is, though? If
well, in her defense, she does live in it's not an assisted living, it's independent living. She has a kitchen, but she's not really well enough to cook anymore. And so she goes to the dining room, and I talked to them, and they were making her special food when she was trying to do this, but they didn't make it great. It's an afterthought. And so I get it that part was difficult. She lives in Houston, which is 3 hours away. So unless I'm going and always stocking her freezer, which I would do, it's a little difficult for her. But
why don't you open a vegan assisted living?
oh my God, you have a lot of ideas for me.
Yeah, I just,
Why don't you do them? I know you're busy.
yeah, I'm pretty busy. Yeah, but I always thought, if I hope I don't end up in a place like that. And not that there's anything wrong with that, but I prefer not to. I used to work in one for many years, but wouldn't it be cool if there were vegan options, or even if they just had one that was completely vegan?
I think that as we age, like maybe, hopefully, like you said, we won't have to do that. Maybe there will be some more, I think there'll be more not need, but like people will want that or expect it as, our age group ages. But not only that, I hate to say, but I mean, if you're eating like this, you're probably going to be like the Esselstyns or, the Campbells, where you're just blowing and going when you're in your late 80s, early 90s. And hopefully, it'll mitigate a lot of the problems that older people encounter. But yeah, you're right. Hopefully there'll be some vegan options. I hope there's vegan options everywhere. I think when I'm old, really old, and I'm like I'm like, okay, I don't care what happens now. Maybe I'll just eat the regular vegan food. I'll go to the vegan deli and get the big, just regular, not oil free. I don't know. Kind of induce some. I probably won't. I can't imagine ever eating oil.
But the thing is, I think people think like when they, especially like, oh, AJ, you can't have this or that. First of all, I can, except for things I'm allergic to. I choose not to, but I really like my food. I wouldn't be able to stick with this vegan for 45 years and SOS free for, 20 if I didn't really like the food I ate.
I agree 100%. I feel like, what I love about it is like, I can eat this or I can't eat this. And I don't feel guilty. I'm not gaining weight. I was always like, why am I gaining weight? I'm eating healthy. And the healthy was, no carbs and no whatever. It was not healthy, but I thought it was, and I couldn't understand it. And now I love to eat. So I get to eat whatever I like. I just have to figure out how to make it. And I like to cook. So it's
you
a
cook
pleasure.
great. And you're welcome back anytime. Booking for the fall now. Maybe come back and do corned beef and cabbage.
Oh God, I'm not making a Jewy thing next time.
Okay, make something of another ethnicity. Well, corned beef and cabbage, I always think of that.
Oh, that's Irish, right? It is Irish,
yeah,
I guess.
I think that is Irish.
I know, but I always think of corned beef as being Jewish.
Okay, then make spanakopita. That's Greek.
Oh gosh. Okay.
And tiramisu, that's Italian. I make whatever you want. You're just a delight to have on.
Oh, I love you, Chef AJ. You're so sweet. Thank you for having me. It's so much
my pleasure. I always enjoyed having you on, and you're just a wonderful recipe creator, and your food is just delicious. Thanks so much, Lauren.
Thank you. Thanks, everybody.
Yep. And thanks all of you for watching another episode of Chef AJ Live. Please come back today at 2 p.m. for a bonus show with Maxime. He's going to teach us how to sculpt our perfect vegan body. And Lauren, do you know tomorrow is my 1000th episode with Rich Roll? And if you watch, you can win a free Nutri-Milk machine.
I saw that. I'm so excited. Yes, I'm going to watch.
Great.
Congratulations.
Thanks so much. Take care, my well elephant friend.